What is sex really about? We generally think that sex has something to do with a natural instinct, with a basic need for pleasure, with an imperious drive. Is that true? What is it exactly that our bodies want? My name is Maxime Rovere. I study interactions. I'm here in the famous red light district of Amsterdam. The sex work is now under lockdown, and I am in the Prostitution Information Center to examine what sex really is. Now, the first thing I want to address is the notion of instinct. We tend to consider that all species reproducing through sexual reproduction share the same type of drive towards bodily union. Of course, you think of whales, you think of dogs, of birds. Well, you know, what does this has to do with science? Scientists actually don't study what is common between the species. Quite on the contrary, they study the specifics. Think of pigeons, for example. Have you ever looked at pigeons thinking that their behavior looks like human behavior? Well, if you have, you're a very bad biologist, because in science, you know that pigeons are not even mammals. So you see, if you can identify something in common between pigeons and humans, it means that you can see what is common between the incomparable, and according to Aristotle, this is called poetry. So to describe the instinct, you realize you are using language, and the language is something very human. And then you realize we are social beings, so it is socially constructed, and then we have a personal history, so this has psychological issues. So little by little you realize that many other determinations overlap with what you call instinct. Emotional, social, historical, psychological, linguistic determination, and many more. Therefore, instinct cannot be called a biological cause of our sexual life. The idea is that we have a sexual life because we are sexual beings is inaccurate. Sexual interest cannot be ascribed to instinct because it is the result of many forces that converge. Okay, drop the instinct, let's talk about sexual desire now. Isn't there something we experience as a sexual desire that is oriented toward sexual pleasure? Well, this too might be artificially unified, whereas it is in fact heterogeneous. Think about two people who study literature and are in love with each other. Maybe they identify themselves to Romeo and Juliet. Now compare them to the lonesome person who's getting lonely at home and who would enjoy to have his or her body a bit shaken. Well, what they are looking for is actually very different. On the one side, they will probably spend a very Shakespearean moment that has a lot to do with poetry. And on the other side, the person is only looking for some kind of energizing workout. So you see, the practices have nothing in common, and this is also why sex has no boundary. You can feel something as being sexual that some others will think only boring. So the term sexual desire cannot have a single meaning, and this implies that the sexual pleasure is also not unified. The physiological reaction known as an orgasm is only one form of the so many forms of satisfaction you can get through your body. So if you call one single pleasure sexual, you're actually giving a very broad and inaccurate approximation of what's going on in our bodies. When it comes to sex, there is not one motivation, nor one intended outcome. Okay, so this is when I hear you ask, Maxime, what will bring satisfaction to our bodies? Well, my answer is, what is your body? What are you doing in there? What do you know about your body? How do you know it's your body? Can't you see it's waiting for you to explore? Remember when you were a baby. Newborn babies are like they seem very surprised by their arms and legs, and they keep on exploring what they can do with them. And little by little, this is how they learn. They learn to walk, they learn to speak, and they become little by little adults. Well, even though a time comes when growing is called aging, the learning never stops. And by learning, I don't mean we need to try new experiences all the time. I mean we need to experience our own existence. Human bodies are very unstable beings. They need to invent and explore themselves permanently, sometimes in their various interactions with others. So what you're looking for is actually to be fully aware of your own existence as a body, through your body. This is why satisfaction has just as many forms as bodies. It's about reveling in the use of your body, maybe not having sex at all, and maybe having some for fun, but always in order to reveal and redefine your existence as a body. So you see, I've tried to address three ideas. First, the idea that sex is the effect of an instinct. Well, I think it's the complex result of many factors. Second, desire and pleasure don't exist as one motivation and one intended outcome. And thirdly, sex, if properly conscientized, is only one among many paths in a quest for exploring what it means to live in this body, to be in this body. You see, bodily interactions are interesting because nobody knows what a human body is, why this body is yours, and why you exist at all. Well, you are in the right position to find out.